Yo, what up? This your boy Kenneth Stones, a.k.a. Coffee Weaston.
This your boy D.O.E. Good Brother Bowl.
And we are the Dirty Hills. You already know, man, you tuning in to 11:30 podcast. Mm-hmm. Not 7:30, but 11:30.
Dude, that's my job. Not 7:30, but 11:30.
Yeah. And you have been Dirty Hills approved.
Yo, what it do, everybody? It's your man Dre, aka Dre on the wheels. What's good, everybody doing out there on this beautiful Friday? We back at it. We are back at it. It's Friday. How everybody's day is going? We're Friday, like I said, we back at it. You know what time it is. It's time for some Talk Pro Wrestling. Good morning, good night, good afternoon to all my listeners all across the world, wherever you may be at. Germany, Canada, UK, the States, Mexico, Brooklyn, DC. We back at it, man. It's going to be an exciting episode for real. If you listen to me on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you listen to me at, make sure you head over, you guys, and subscribe. Yeah, subscribe to the 1130 Podcast YouTube channel. And don't forget to like it, leave a comment, all that great stuff. And also don't forget to follow the 1130 Podcast on all social media platforms. But you guys, man, I'm back at it. I got an amazing guest this week. Yes, he's from Brooklyn, New York, you guys. He's an independent pro wrestler. He wrestles for Full Impact Pro, American Championship Entertainment. He's the Upper Limit Wrestling Champion, Global Syndicated Wrestling, just to name a few. He's from Brooklyn. The Brooklyn Outlaw, Donovan, will be joining me here this week on the 1130 Podcast in just a bit. We're going to chop it up with him and have some fun. But coming up later on today here on the show, we're going to chat on Monday Night Raw, NXT, AEW, Raw, Smack, everything, man. Everything still to come later on in the show, you guys, and some Extreme Rules predictions. But that's later on to the show. Now, we got an amazing guest, the Brooklyn Outlaw, Donovan. How's it going, bro?
Man, I'm chilling, man. Just relaxing, enjoying another day. Just chilling here. Gonna do this nice podcast with you, my guy, and then I'm out to go check out a little bit of GCW tonight.
Okay, that sounds awesome. That sounds real awesome. I appreciate you. Like I said before the show, man, I'm not gonna waste your time. I know you're a busy man and you got a lot of stuff going on. But how's life treating you, though?
Man, it's good. I got no complaints. I mean, obviously we've been dealing with this pandemic, so things are a little crazy. But other than that, it's just, this gives every professional wrestler the time to, really focus and really, mold themselves until they want to be. Like, if anybody, God forbid, got laid off, if anybody by chance just gets a little bit more time, just to focus on a couple of more things that are important, this was everybody's perfect opportunity to really dig their claws into what they, putting the direction that they want to go with their professional wrestling career. And, I've been blessed that I haven't had to deal with any problem like that, but, it's good that I still got to focus a little bit more on me and, focus on trying to present myself in a way that'll make me successful in this business.
Okay. That's dope. You mentioned the pandemic. How's everything been working out for you? Because I know a lot of independent guys were laid off and didn't really have too much work going on. How did you stay focused and stuff?
You just gotta focus, man. You gotta make sure you do what you do. Make sure you do what you do at work great, so those things don't happen to you. And but unfortunately, it just might be a matter of places downsizing and stuff like that. And people take a hit. And for me, I wasn't fortunate with my stuff, but I was still blessed in the same way that I'm not out there going crazy spending money like people are. So I'm able to live. You know what I'm saying? So I'm good. I'm chilling.
Okay. Hey, you gotta be able to save and just stay out the way. Some people just been going a little bit crazy during the pandemic, though. But
exactly.
Hey, that's what's up, man. But as far as wrestling goes, how long you been wrestling? How long you been in the business?
I've been wrestling for 18 years now. Pretty much just 18 years.
Okay, 18 years. How's the journey been, though? I know
man, it's an interesting one. I mean, there's a lot of, it has its ups and downs. You have your moments where you're having momentum. You have your moments where it slows down and then it picks right back up. It's an even flow right now. Right now, I can say that I'm steady. I have my big moments, and it steadies out again. Then it jumps right back up. Then it steadies out. There's nothing. I can't say right now that things are dead for me, which are good. So I'm still grinding, still doing what I got to do. Getting myself into the school whenever I can to go ahead and keep learning. You never stop learning. So, if you're a professional wrestler and you've been wrestling as long as I have, or you've been wrestling a little bit under and you're not going to the schools, or you're not at least at the gym, or you're not at least studying some video, you're doing yourself a disservice by, not going in. But, in the beginning, wrestling, it was a little bit difficult, obviously. I got shot into the scene when I started out. I trained no more than, I could say honestly, 6 months, and then I was already thrown into a show. Um, and it was a very big learning process for me. So, I had to pick up a lot on the fly. And, thankfully I had people like Mike Morgan at the Ace Pro Wrestling Academy. I had people like Azriel, Federico Palacios, who's, done a lot of great work with me and, took me under his wing. I got to roll around with guys, like Jay Lethal, guys that really got to cement their themselves in the business, Dan Off, guys that, know what they're doing in there, know how to put on a show, and now currently now, it's not frequent. I mean, I would say I'd like it to be more frequent, but I know how busy he is. But, right now I'm training under Homicide, and, my man's a busy man, so yeah, he's all over the place, doing a lot of things. He's got his hands in a lot of different cookie jars, which is great. So, I'm working, I'm training with him right now. Still training with Azriel, because that's still my homie regardless. Even, help train me, help hone me, mold me into who I am now. But at the same time, he's still one of my people. So whenever we get a chance, to roll around, we definitely do. And after, like I said, when with wrestling, I got thrown right in there, and it became a big learning process, and I picked up a lot of things over time. And then now it's at a point where things are, I can confidently go into that ring and know what I have to do and know what kind of show I need to put on for everybody. I can read the crowd, what needs to be done and stuff like that. But it's a long process, so you got to get in there and, train and do what you got to do to pick up those things.
Okay, cool. You spoke on, being confident and stuff. Now, you go to the ring and you the man though. How long did it take for that, being in front of a crowd and, working and stuff?
What's funny? I can honestly say the way I am now, that's only been for the last 4 years, 4 years.
Okay.
And the only reason why I say that is because I'm being who I am now. I'm being me. I'm being myself. I just turned the volume up, Before that, I was always being, what maybe the promoter was looking for, or maybe I was teaming up with somebody. So I was, conforming myself to them, and being, like closer to their personality. But now, as the Brooklyn Outlaw, I'm being who I am. I am that kid that was raised out in Brooklyn, New York. I lived there pretty much all my life, So, I get to be my loudmouth self.
Okay.
And now being that, walking around with that swag and everything like that, that's me, So it's, I feel comfortable in my own skin now, So when I talk the way I talk, it's because that's how I talk. When I have to turn things up with somebody outside, things like that. So it feels good now because, again, in wrestling you have those points where you have to try to be somebody else sometimes, or they, you know, there's certain expectations, or you want to become this character and everything like that.
Mhm.
And right now, I don't feel like I'm being a character. I feel like I'm being genuinely me.
Okay. Hey, and that's how I really, come off better, when you just being yourself though. Being a worker,
Yep.
how did you handle that? Because I know a lot of, guys and girls who work, as in pro wrestling, have to be someone that they're not, and it kind of like can cost them their job or whatever like that. But how did you handle that being someone that, or being playing someone that you wasn't for a long time?
Well, the places that I worked at, I thought I did a decent job. I don't think I did a banging job. Obviously, I'm not signed to do it, so I didn't do a banging job. But I thought I did a decent job with what was given to me and what was told for me to do. I was able to hide all my weaknesses if I teamed up with anybody, because obviously what we were doing was their strength. And then what we had to do in the ring, I was able to hide their weaknesses and, bring out my strengths in there, So, I think I did a decent job with it, enough to get by. That was that's pretty much all I could say when it comes to that. I think I did a decent job.
Okay. But I know you want to, be the Brooklyn Outlaw. You want to be Donovan, just getting by, can only get you but so far. So
Exactly.
Yeah, I feel you on that though. But what led you to being a pro wrestler? Did you always, wanted to be a pro wrestler as a little kid? Because as a little kid sitting in the classroom, they always ask you, "Hey, what you want to be when you grow up?" No one ever said professional wrestling when I was in school though. But did you wanted to be a pro wrestler growing up, or how did it go?
I always loved pro wrestling since I was a child. My mom would tell me stories about me having the wrestling buddies, and I would always beat up Hulk Hogan. And I was actually an Andre the Giant fan, which makes no sense because Andre's this giant and I'm not tall at all. But I was always a fan of the bad guys and stuff like that. And this is as far back as according to my mom, as far back as me being 2 years old. I was always crazy about wrestling. And me being of, Latino descent, it's obvious that baseball was also involved with it as well. So, I've always loved wrestling, like I said, since 2. I never thought it was going to actually be something that was going to happen or something I was going to pursue. I was heavy into baseball as well. So you would catch me. And when I was a younger kid, old enough to actually go play baseball games and stuff like that, I was playing baseball, practicing, watching baseball, or watching wrestling. It was one or the other, or I was playing with my wrestling figures, or I was doing wrestling matches. I was always doing one of those two things.
Okay.
And it got to a point where, things were going very good for me with baseball. Very, very good. To a point that, career defining things. And being a knucklehead and a young kid, I was messing around baseball wise, and I ended up blowing out my arm. So that kind of got put back a little bit. And during that process of trying to get my arm back, I ran into one of my buddies. And at this point, I think I was in high school. Yeah, I was in my first year of high school. And one of my buddies knew a kid that his father's cousin was Pedro Morales, and he had obviously wrestled for the WWF. So his father's name was Pete McKay, and the kid's name was he went by Dangerous Dan Payne. Old school wrestler. Now he doesn't wrestle anymore because he unfortunately injured his neck. But he's the person that kind of got me into everything. And he was like, "Hey, there's an opportunity. I can teach you how to do front bump, back bump, side bump." Mm-hmm. And I was like, "Yeah, sure, let's do it. Let's give it a shot." Because by that time already, baseball was already a dub. So now it was just me hanging out with my buddies, watching baseball when I get home, hanging out with my boys, doing wrestling and shit like that. And then then the opportunity to do that came. So I was like, all right, cool. I did it, and he was like, yo, you're a natural at it. And then at that point, he had introduced me to Mike Morgan at the Ace Pro Wrestling Academy, and then that's when he's passed me over to Mike, and
Oh
then
wow.
just kept going from there.
Hey, that's awesome. That's awesome. But I know you had to been a little bit bummed on that arm, though, as far as baseball
Oh,
goes.
still to this day, I'm still to this day I think about it. When I have my injuries in wrestling, or when I'm just feeling that soreness, I'm like, fucking baseball, man. Because
Yeah.
I had a really good chance, and it was just it wasn't a matter of me not being good enough to play. That's the thing that gets to me. It was the matter of me being immature and causing myself an injury. But that comes with the age, and that comes with realizing what's really going on in front of you. And I pretty much wasn't mature enough for that. So that's why that happened. And at the end of the day, God has a plan for everybody. So
Exactly.
maybe that wasn't in the cards for me.
Maybe. Hey, he got a plan. He got a plan, though. Who's your team, though, in baseball?
Oh man, the Yankees, dog. You already know
Oh man,
that.
the Yankees, man. The Yankees, man. Okay, man. That's real cool. That's real cool. I'm not a big baseball fan, but I know when
Okay.
the Nationals went to the World Series a couple of years ago, that was real big here in DC. I'm from DC, so that was real huge. So I like the Ravens as far as football go. Are you into football or anything like that?
Yeah, I'm a suffering Jets fan right now.
Oh man, yeah. They're not doing too well though. They're not doing too well.
Oh no, not at all.
Yeah. Have you thought about after wrestling maybe going back to being in some type of capacity in the baseball?
Well, right now my son is he's in high school ball right now, so focusing on that with him, just trying to keep him going, making sure he doesn't make the mistake that I made, because he actually has a better arm than I had. With my arm, I was, they asked me to pitch, but I had no control. So I knew I was gonna end up hitting somebody, or the pitches were going to be all over the place. So it was like I was good at first base, but I wasn't tall enough for first base. So it was like put me in the outfield, and I was able to go from fence to home plate with no problem, like straight liner. And then obviously the injury happened, and I couldn't throw like that anymore. But my son, his arm is at an earlier age. He was throwing dingers, and he was freaking. You can hear it, like you can hear that sound when he's throwing that pitch to me. So I know, he's got a very special arm, and now it's just a matter of him, still focusing, trying to get him actually into winter training right now for the baseball. That way, things work out good with him in his high school. That way he could continue to move forward with it. That's the only training when it comes to baseball wise that I'll do. Like maybe once in a while, I'll go ahead and I'll go to a batting cage with my son, and he'll be like, "What was it the other day? Not the other day, a couple of weeks ago. He had told me, go to the 80-mile one, Dad." So we went to the 80-mile-per-hour pitching one. And I just let the first one go by me. I was like, okay, just wanted to see it. And then the next one rocked it. So I'm like, oh shit, I still got it. But
That's awesome. That's
yeah,
that's
man.
totally dope, man. That's totally dope. I wish
Yeah.
the best for him, man. I wish the best for him.
Sure,
And
me too.
and as a dad, I know you gotta, love it. I know you gotta love it.
No, absolutely.
But with you guys, man, we're gonna move on here on Talk Pro Wrestling. Donovan, you said you've been in pro wrestling for about 18 years. What would you like to accomplish? And are you where you want to be at in wrestling right now?
No, I'm never satisfied. I'm not where I want to be. I can be
Okay.
100% honest about that. I want bigger things for myself. I want to be able to accomplish actually getting a contract. So that's pretty much the goal here. Um, everybody wants to go to the big two, and we know who those are. At this point right now, I just want to get signed somewhere so I can be on a platform where I can showcase what I can do. So that way, when I showcase what I can do, everybody could see it for what it's worth. And I'm very comfortable under my skin that I feel like I do bring something to the table. I feel like I am different. I'm not saying it in a cocky way, but I'm not a scrub. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I'm very confident in my own skin that I got something special to bring to the table. It's a matter of, someone, and it's always with wrestling. It's a matter of right place, right time. And it's a matter of someone seeing it and saying, let's give this guy an opportunity. Let's give this guy a chance to showcase himself.
Hey, I agree. I agree, man. You got to be confident, man. You can't. And hey, if it's cockiness, then hey, it come out like that. But you got to believe in yourself and knowing that you the shit. Ain't nobody gonna believe in yourself more than you. So I
Absolutely.
definitely agree with you saying. Speaking of wrestling, what you think of wrestling as a whole now? I kind of like ask my guests this question almost every other week though. But what you think as the wrestling business as a whole, as far as it evolving?
Well, right now it's on fire, man. I mean, you can find wrestling anywhere.
Mhm.
You have the big two, but you've got so many more promotions out there, so
Mhm.
many more opportunities to be on TV, to be seen nationally. You know what I'm saying? Internationally is different. Obviously, internationally, for that to happen, you've got to really go to the big two, or maybe there's a third one involved there, you know? But, just to there's a lot of places to be seen, and
Okay.
you even have like independent promotions that are big out there, like I'm saying, GCW,
Yes.
huge.
Yes.
It's seen everywhere. So
Mm-hmm.
you have Beyond Wrestling. It's huge. At the end of the day, seen everywhere. You have PWX down south,
Yes.
huge. I know I've been keeping an eye on Define Wrestling.
Okay.
I think that's in your area. No, no, I might be wrong, but the Five Wrestling, it's a pretty good promotion too that I've been keeping my eye on, and they draw very well as well. So there's good independent wrestling promotions that a lot of people watch out there.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have your bigger promotions that have TV and those opportunities for you to be seen, nationally. And then you got the big two internationally and nationally that you can be seen, and it's booming.
Yeah.
Slowly but surely, it's booming. I mean, we were at the boom stage, and then COVID hit.
Mm-hmm.
So then I guess it was one of those things where nobody was ready for that. And then
Yeah.
now it's coming back slowly but surely, and every program that's out there is getting their good crowds, getting a lot of eyeballs on them. So wrestling is popping right now, man.
Hey, you right about that. What a time! What a time to be a wrestling fan. What a time to be alive. To be a wrestling fan, I'm enjoying every single bit of it. I really am though. As far as wrestling goes, you spoke on it about independent companies and wrestling promotions that's not on TV, and also wrestlers. Who would you like to work with that maybe you don't see on a regular basis on TV?
You talking about wrestler wise or promotion
Yes,
wise?
yes, wrestling wise.
Wrestler
Yes.
wise. I pretty much the guys that I wrote, everybody that I usually wrestle around, they happen to now they're being signed up. So it was like, Lee Moriarty, I would have loved to, wrestle with. I think he got snatched up by AEW, but obviously he still works independence, or I think at least. I'd like to work Tony Deppen. I've had good matches with Richard Holiday. Like to get a one-on-one with him. I'd love to work Homicide. I've never worked Homicide ever, and like that's my dream match.
Okay.
I've already been able to knock off working Moff. I've worked Dan Moff before, so that's one out. And the other one was always Homicide. So like that's the one that I'm trying to go for. If it ever happens, cool. If it don't, disappointed. But I would really like for that to happen one day. There's a kid by the name of Ever Connors. Really like his style. Like the swag that he brings to the ring. He's different. He's extremely different. And like different in a good way though. Like when he comes out, you get that vibe about him, and he can work his ass off. He can really work, I'd like to work with one of the dudes that I roll with, Steve Pena. Very underrated dude. Dude's a star. And, he just needs it's same thing with him. Right place, right time, right eyes on him, you know?
Okay. Okay. Hey, that's what's up, man. Some big names that a lot of people haven't heard. A couple of them that we have heard, and we're gonna try to get you that match, man. We got to get you the match with Homicide for real. You got to get the match with Homicide, though. But man, what keeps you pushing, man, throughout all these 18 years in pro wrestling? What inspires you?
Well, I'll be honest with you. At one point, I was ready to just dub it, and it got to a point where I was just I was just doing it for the fun of it, and I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna enjoy these couple of months, and then, if nothing pops off, I'm gonna just walk, you know. And it was literally maybe like a year into me being myself. I think I just overstressed myself out about the situations, and I ended up getting I ended up doing a seminar with Damian Priest. This was during the time he was Punishment Martinez at Ring of Honor, Briscoe, and Ian Riccaboni at the Monster Factory. We did a seminar there, and I had a talk with Damian Priest, and it was nothing but good things that he had told me. Same thing with Ian Riccaboni, gave me nothing but good reviews and everything, and I was told, that by Priest that he was gonna, help me out to get into Future of Honor, which could possibly lead to Ring of Honor. And I was contacted and told I was gonna do the Future of Honor show, which was cool. It was supposed to be at the Monster Factory. At that time, I was wrestling for a promotion, and still am wrestling for a promotion called Pro Wrestling Magic, and I was their heavyweight champion. And the date was the same date as the Future of Honor date. And to me, old school wise, if you're the champion somewhere, you got to go defend the title. Don't And the booking was the same day. Mm-hmm. So I had to be honest with Danny, and I told him, hey, I'm booked. I'm booked for this company, and I'm their champion. So I kind of gotta honor that, because I'm old school when it comes to that. You just gotta. To me, you gotta honor that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe some other people might just say, no, it's Future of Honor. Just go, go, go. You know what I'm saying? Screw the other promotion. But to me, it's like the promotion took an investment in me. So it'd be kind of bad to kind of give them the FU when they need me. So I did the show, and in the process of doing that show, right at the end of the match, I ended up tearing my tricep. Yeah. So with that happening, everything with Future of Honor was out the door. And I guess I don't know what happened with Monster Factory and Ring of Honor, but obviously there was a split there. So that was somebody that I already knew. Boom, gone with that. And then to top it off, Damian Priest left Ring of Honor and obviously got signed to WWE. So a couple of things moved out the way. So I was just like, well, shit, like there's something that continues to block me from things popping off. So this might be just a sign, Mm-hmm. And at that point, I was just ready to call it a dub. And I was recovering and watching NXT with my son. And my son sat there and he was like, Dad, all those guys in a lot of the guys in that are on that show, right? And I'm like, yeah. He was like, you've been in the locker room with a lot of them. Yeah. And he was just like, so why aren't you there? Mm. And I've never been more humbled in my life by somebody than, what my son said. Like, everybody else can tell me whatever they want and it won't faze me ever. You know what I'm saying? That humbled me. I don't know what it was. It was just like, it made me think, like, you're probably not taking this as serious as you should be taking it and stuff like that. And right there, it like changed everything for me. And, I got over the injury. And during that time, I signed up with a personal trainer and stuff like that. And at that point, I really took it a lot more seriously than I did for those years prior to that, which is sad because it's a lot of time of youth in your body that was put to waste. But I feel like maybe at the same time too, it was better that it happened later because I was still very immature at that time. So if good things would have happened to me, I would have probably burned a couple of bridges. Um, but like, that just turned everything around for me. And I was like, I can't quit, And my son was like, you can get there. And there's things that my son says that will blow your mind, and you'll sit there and he'll say certain things to me that make total sense, and then I'll go to a bigger head and I'll talk to them about it, and they're just like, no, that's exactly right. Like even me just wearing the top that I wear, I was always thinking about, let me get into great shape and get rid of it and everything like that. And my son one day just looking at me like a smart ass, this 15-year-old smart ass, and he looks over, he's like, why would you take that off? He was like, you look different, you don't look like nobody. And I had brought it to someone's attention, and they were like, no, he's absolutely correct. Don't take that off. He was like, why would you? They were like, why would you do that? It does set you apart from everybody because of the way it looks. So, my daughter, they play a big role in why I decided to keep going. And, it's brought me a lot of opportunities, I'm still working for and trying to get, but I owe a lot of credit to them because if not, I would have quit about 3 years ago. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. I like that. You seem like your kids are your behind the scenes manager, huh?
Yeah. And they give me some stuff here and there.
I really enjoy that, man. That's some really cool, man. You can't give up, man. You cannot give up, and that's real cool. Like to see your son to say, hey, you've been chatting, you've been in the locker room with all this. You can make it. You can make it. So you just gotta believe in yourself. Man, that's dope. Donovan, the Brooklyn Outlaw, I appreciate you joining me this week here on the 1130 podcast. Before we wrap it up and go, you got a big event coming up October 10th, Full Impact Pro and ACE Awakening. Tell our listeners about it so they can come catch it up.
Yeah, I've got Ace is returning after a little bit of a hiatus because of COVID and a lot of personal things that were going on there. They're finally coming back now, and for Ace, I've got Stockade, who's been a long-time Ace guy. Looking forward to actually, whooping his ass. He does a lot of talking, but not a lot of throwing them hands. So I'm 2-0 on him, and he's got a lot to prove. He does a lot of this, but I want to see the action follow up. So until he follows up with that action, he can't talk to me. He's not even on my level at this moment. If I'm 2-0 on you, you ain't got nothing to say. Just put in the work and come bring it. You know what I'm saying? And then, I've got FIP. I'm rolling with my boys, the NYC crew. It don't mean the New York City crew. It's the Not Your Choice crew. I got, my boy Nino Cruz and my right hand, Steve Pena. We're going to go in there heavy. We're going in to knock off heads and catch attention and make sure people don't forget that, we might not be the biggest name, the guys that have the most, clout on the internet and on Twitter and everything. But trust and believe, when it comes to bringing them goods, they ain't nothing like us, dog.
Okay. I dig it, man. I dig it. You got some hard-hitting action coming up in the coming weeks. Yo, the Brooklyn Outlaw, I appreciate you joining me once again here on the podcast. Before you go, any shout-outs, any questions, anything you'd like to say?
Well, since today, this is obviously taping on the 23rd, I want to give a shout-out to my homie Federico Palacios, Azriel. It's his birthday, so happy birthday to him. Shout out to, Ace Pro Wrestling. Shout out to FIP. Shout out to Upper Limit Wrestling. Shout out to WWN, period. They work with me. They're good people. They take care of things. Check out my my socials. You can check me out, on Instagram and on Twitter, BK_Outlaw718. And on Facebook, it is Mike Donovan 84. And those are all my socials. You can go on YouTube and just look up the Brooklyn Outlaw Donovan. It's a lot of footage that should show up of mine from past shows. And that's pretty much it, dog.
Okay. Yo, the Brooklyn Outlaw, I appreciate you, man, for coming on the podcast this week. I wish you nothing but the best, man. Keep killing it and keep doing your thing, man. Do not give up. And you got big things planned ahead of you, for real. I'm telling you. You got to speak it into existence, though. But once again, man, I appreciate you joining me this week on the podcast.
Thank you, dog. I appreciate you for having me.
Yo, Donovan, the Brooklyn Outlaw. Appreciate you joining me this week here on the 1130 podcast, Talk Pro Wrestling. It was an amazing time chopping it up with you, man. Very inspiring story. You was just like, man, I'm about to just call it a wraps, man. But, your son, your kids were there to, uplift you with some real kind words that you just was like, wow, like, this is coming from my kid. Like, but, man, that's amazing, man. That really is amazing. Don't quit. Don't give up, man. Keep doing what you're doing. I love your work. I checked it out on YouTube. I'll be checking it out, man. And yo, keep doing your thing. You will get there. For real. You will get there. It was an amazing time chopping it up with the Brooklyn Outlaw Donovan, you guys, here on the 1130 podcast, Talk Pro Wrestling. Yes, man. Yes. It is Friday, you guys. It is Friday. I hope everybody Friday is going lovely, you guys. But we gonna move on with the podcast, you guys. Man, we gonna start it all. We ain't gonna waste no more time, you guys. Yo, the Bloodline. Yes, I said it. The Bloodline headlines WWE Raw, you guys. Well, if you want to make Raw a little bit more interesting, if you want to spike it up, I guess you know who to call, right? You call the guys who've been telling the story for the last year and a half in WWE. The Bloodline, man, for real. I'm loving it. I'm excited. I'm excited on what they did, man. But we started on Monday Night Raw this past Monday with Big E coming out and with the New Day, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods coming out there, just in front of the crowd, just thanking the crowd for being there and supporting them and supporting Big E, through his WWE Championship reign, from that point since he won it the week prior. But out comes the Bloodline, and we don't waste no time. We start Monday Night Raw off with this match, and a good match, man. Really good match. I thought it was going to be the main event, but hey, kudos to them. One thing about this match that really surprised me, I said it on my socials, bro. After Bobby came down and was started attacking both teams, the ref didn't throw the match out. The ref didn't throw the match out. I was so surprised. I was like, fuck yeah. Hell yeah. Let's keep it going on. And, of course, the Tribal Chief got the 1, 2, 3. But yeah, man, like any other time, a couple of weeks ago when the Usos were taking on the Street Profits on SmackDown, DQ, ring the bell, whatever like that. Like, they let the match go on. Awesome, man. Awesome. Monday Night Raw, one of the best Monday Night Raws in a long time, man. Just in a long time, from top to bottom. In my opinion, if they could have just took out the Eva Marie Doudrop, but they said this is a rock, and just dust their hands off of it, we'll see. But hey, everybody, knock on Eva Maria, shit on her, whatever like that. She's getting these girls over though. Okay, she got Doudrop over / Piper Nevin. Who's gonna be who she's gonna work with next? I'm interested in who she's gonna work with next, and obviously, she's gonna get them over. But man, like if they would have probably took that out, man, from top to bottom, everything was just beautiful. I even loved the tag team match between Alberto Carrillo and his cousin Angel Gaza taking on Ali and his partner. I can't think of his name right now. I never could think of nobody's name when I was doing this podcast. But man, beautiful Raw. The promo between Alexa Bliss and Charlotte, man, like it was awesome. It was awesome, man. And of course, to chop it all off, to wrap it up, we had a awesome triple threat match to end the night. Bobby Lashley taking on the Tribal Chief versus Big E. Man, oh man, that's pay-per-view written all over it. But the Tribal Chief, of course, walked out with the dub. He walked out with the dub, man. Hey, yo, that's not what I meant to push though, but we on it. We just gonna be on it though. AEW Grand Slam, you guys. Yes, it went down this past Wednesday night, and yo, for everybody who was at the show, stop saying, "Hey, should we spoil it?" No. I mean, no. Tonight is the night. Friday, it comes on. Okay. For those who don't want to stay up 10 o'clock, oh well. But I mean, like, don't spoil it, man. Like, you got all these wrestling fans want to take the joy out of wrestling, man. Like, come on, man. Come on. But yo, AEW Grand Slam night, well, the first 2 hours that was on Dynamite was off the chain, you guys. I'm talking about off the chain. Beautiful, one of the match of the year. Bryan Danielson and Kenny Omega went head to head at the top of Dynamite this past Wednesday, and it was beautiful. It was so beautiful. These guys went to a draw. These guys went to a draw, though, man. Like, I don't think it get no better than that. Daniel couldn't stand. Kenny was just like, yo, I was digging it. Obviously, they're going to have a second matchup. We're going to see where that goes, man. We're going to definitely see where that goes. Malachi Black defeated Cody Rhodes. MJF defeated Brian Pillman Jr. What else we had on the show? Oh man, it was so much. Sting and Darby Allin. I like the way Sting was presenting himself, out there, man, and he was doing his thing. That was an awesome matchup. Britt Baker defeated Ruby Soho in the main event for the AEW Women's Championship, or retained her title. But yo, man, like, wrestling, man, just wrestling was amazing. And of course, speaking of AEW, we are AEW Rampage tonight, you guys. Yes, tonight is going to be awesome. CM Punk taking on the Powerhouse Hobbs. We got the Lucha Bros teaming up with Powerful, taking on Private Party and the Butcher and the Blade. Oh man, what else we got here, man? We got Penelope Ford taking on Anna Jay. Man, we got Jericho and Jack Yeager taking on the Men of the Year. Man, like, oh man, we got Adam Cole, baby, and the Young Bucks taking on Christian Cage and Jurassic Express. It is going down, man. Like, this week has been amazing, man. It has been amazing. I'm loving it, man. Speaking of tonight, we also got SmackDown tonight, you guys. Yes, my guy Apollo Crews, man. I've been loving what he was doing lately. He's been slacking, I think, because everything kind of like been overshadowing, the show or him. But when the draft come up next Friday, I hope he go to Raw. But we'll see. Apollo Crews is going to take on Shinsuke Nakamura for the Intercontinental Championship tonight, and we're going to see what Finn Balor / the Demon have to sort of say to the Tribal Chief as we head towards Extreme Rules this Sunday. And also another match we have excuse me. I know, so I'm not editing it out. Another matchup that we have at Extreme Rules this Sunday is Bianca Belair taking on Becky Lynch. The SmackDown Women's Championship is going to be on the line. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be an amazing night. I can't wait. Last week on SmackDown, man, it was so dope to see Bianca in her hometown. I don't think WWE really celebrated anyone who was really from Knoxville. And the fact now that Kane is the mayor of the Knoxville County, that was pretty cool having them there and stuff like that. And her family were going to schools. But I said it last week. Shout out to my guy, Warren Marlowe. But Bianca, baby girl, stop smiling. Stop smiling. You go hard, please. You go hard. You got to whoop Becky this Sunday. Like, I ain't got nothing to smile about. I lost my title in 26 seconds. So what? You're the man or whatever. Like, so what? Like, I ain't got nothing to smile about. For real. So, yo, I can't wait to see what Bianca does next on that. Can't wait to see what she does next. But other than that, you guys, man, it is going down. Like I said, it's been an awesome week up. What I meant to push at first, NXT 2.0, week 2. How was you guys week 2 of NXT 2.0? Or you could just call it NXT. NXT was pretty solid, man. Pretty solid. I'm all there for the Legado del Fantasma and the Hit Row. Hit Row, I'm all there for it. I'm loving it. They both got new women in the groups now, so I'm just loving it. We at war. girls fighting, the men fighting. Let's get it each and every week. Let's keep getting that, man. And Andre Chase, man, yes, NXT is going with this sink or swim method of bringing in a lot of new talent, man. And Andre Chase was one of the other guys who stood out to me. I really loved this promo. He was like, really? I don't give a F, man. Like, and boy, I had to see their face and commentary after that promo was like, really? Like, really? Like, I thought that was entertaining. I thought that was really entertaining. And of course, Braun Breaker, you guys. A lot of people, comparing him to Scott Steiner. Don't do that. Even though he does got that look, but he got that look like he's gonna be something. He really got that look like he is going to be something. And in pro wrestling, man, for real. What else we got, you guys? Impact, you guys. Impact Victory Road that went down last Saturday. What was an awesome pay-per-view. We had the Good Brothers retain their titles against Willie Mack and Rich Swann. Josh Alexander defend his X Division Championship against Chris Sabian. Decay defended their knockout tag team titles and retained it. It was a very, very interesting show, man. Very, very interesting show. Yeah, and W. Morrissey and Moose took on Eddie Edwards and Salakam, which was a dope matchup in my opinion. That was really a nice matchup. And the main event we seen, you guys, was Christian Cage defeating Ace Austin for the Impact Championship. That was pretty dope, man. We had a whole interesting week of wrestling, you guys. Before I head on out of here, one last thing I want to discuss real fast. Dark Side of the Ring, you guys. Everybody buzzing last week on the episode of the plane ride to hell. Why would anybody, what is Dark Side of the Ring or Vice method of making this, especially this episode? And I understand they wanted to get out there for, the flight attendant and everything, but why the hell would Tommy Dreamer say those things? They was like Brock Lesnar decline. I mean, you think not? You think not? Vince McMahon wasn't on the plane? Like, none of this makes sense. But, it was real sad, the story with the flight attendant, real sad. And in my opinion, I was just like, wow. Ric Flair got released just in time, huh? He got released. Obviously, he wanted to do the NWA or where he asked release, whatever, but he got released just in time. And whoever watched Heels, not this past Wednesday, but last Wednesday show where you had the guy, never could think of somebody's name, but one of the guys who was on the plane and he's trying to get back, into the company, into DWL or whatever like that, and he was on this plane with the championship, just swinging his dick, just swinging it, and I was like, bro, what they saying right now remind me of just that. So it was just like, bro, this is crazy. This is crazy, man. Crazy story. I ain't even gonna buy into it, man. The one last night was good too. I'm loving it, you guys. What a time to be a wrestling fan, you guys. What a time to be a wrestling fan. Yo, you guys, I'm about to head on out of here, you guys. Yo, before I do, you guys, don't forget to follow the 1130 Podcast on all social media platforms. Follow the 1130 Podcast on Instagram and Twitter. Like the 1130 Podcast on Facebook. And don't forget, once again, to subscribe to the 1130 Podcast on YouTube. Yes, on YouTube, man. We bringing it each and every Wednesday, you guys, with the 1130 Podcast. Yes, the main show each and every Wednesday, streaming on EB Radio and YouTube at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the 100th episode is coming up, you guys, so don't miss it. Man, it's been a hell of a show. I hope everybody's day is going blessed, and I hope everybody, man, stay blessed and stay safe out there. Give all the glory to God, man, for real. And yo, I'm head on out of here. Yo, this was fun. Yo, it's your man Dre, aka Dre on Wheels, and I'm out.